BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top traders. If you sign up with the link in the description, you get a free $100 when you deposit $100. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a think about Altseason. Massive gains. And to be fair, I don't know if anyone watched that sort of live stream I did yesterday. Those are the sort of things I do twice a week on the Patreon. So if you want to join, that's a little free taster is what I did yesterday. People ask me questions, look at this chart, look at this stock, look at this whatever, and tell me what you think. Not tell me what's definitely going to happen, but tell me what you think. Apply your analysis over it and see if it matches mine or whatever. That's what we do on Tuesdays and Fridays. Links in the description below. Now, one thing that seemed relatively clear on that stream that I did yesterday is that altcoins are actually looking pretty good, right? 4 hourlies looking bullish, some dailies looking bullish, but for the most part, the dailies were pushing up to a resistance, which made me think that in over the next few days, so starting from yesterday's stream, maybe between then and just the next few days or so, dailies need to cool down a little bit. Just have a little cooling off period. The money flow indexes were quite high. The pumps were looking quite good. Golden crosses have been formed on 4 hours, which normally ask to be pulled back into just to see if they're genuine. The total market cap 2, if we were to pull back into that golden cross there, that's a 2.5% move. So you can think, all right, 2.5% across the board for all altcoins. Some more, some less, but generally speaking, across the board, 2.5% pullback from where we're at right now. Even if it pumps up further, still moving back into that 200 exponential would be relatively good. And the total market cap is a guide, right? A blanket view for all altcoins and where you think, where it's likely to go. Similar to the Bitcoin dominance, which we'll look in a minute. So a lot of these altcoins were pushing into their daily resistances, and if they were to break, some had measured moves of up to and over 100% before their next major resistance. Some not so good, not so much, but still all pointing up, and Ethereum being, I suppose, one of the main drivers to being able to push this specific chart that we're looking at now, the total 2, up above its major level of resistance on a daily, which is a 200 exponential moving average, effectively a death cross retest. So the 4 hourly in the very short term time frames saying, all right, we're looking for bullish continuation. If we can just retest that golden cross, all will be okay, and we can buy that dip, and we can ride this chart and many others all the way up to the moon. Whereas the daily is saying the opposite. The daily is saying, there's your death cross, baby. We are getting a death cross retest, so just a bearish retest of a moving average, and now we're looking to pull back and have continuation. So two conflicting analysis of the same chart using the same technique, just different time frames. Okay, interesting, right? So this is where we think you got to start thinking outside the box, basically. So what's outside the box? Well, this is, like I said, just a guide of all altcoins market cap. And who's got the biggest market cap of all? It's our friend Ethereum. And Ethereum, again, there's your golden cross, which was retested on the 4 hourly. That's what we want to see on the total market cap too. We want to see that. What's the daily saying? Well, the daily is different, isn't it, to the total market cap too? Excuse me, the daily already has a golden cross, no death cross here, a golden cross with a retest of a simple moving average, the 200 exponential, so a golden cross retest, and we're trying to, in fact, we're very close to generating a pump signal on the Ichimoku cloud, and a horizontal area of significance being that $2,000 for an Ethereum, which wants to break. So in a different sense of it, we're not having a death cross retest here. We've already had a golden cross retest. This chart, specifically this chart, Ethereum, is going to influence the total market cap too, which should influence all the other altcoins through association, causing an alt season, right? So that's thinking outside the box. So the shorter term timeframes on the total 2 is good, as with most altcoins that we saw yesterday. The dailies on most altcoins are working on a death cross retest on a daily. However, Ethereum is not. This is why that $2,000 Ethereum is such an important level, because it will allow for Ethereum to break and continue up. Next major level, 2,400. Probably the top target, 3,600. And whether you own Ethereum or not is up to you. It's not for me to say. I still hold all the Ethereum that I bought back in the last bull run. It's roughly around $160. Just still got it. Still got it. Yeah, it's a store of value. There's your store of value. Okay, but whether or not you own it or want to trade it or buy it is a different story. I'm using this idea as thinking outside of the box for what's going to take place for the rest of the market, the rest of the altcoin market, which in the past has basically just moved as one when Ethereum decides to, move or outperform Bitcoin, which it probably will if we see this move and then when the total market cap move as well. Let's have a think about the Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin dominance chart on a daily here, still very bullish. However, pullback over the last couple of days and for today and yesterday, getting a resistance on the 10 exponential. So maybe we're seeing some kind of change of behavior here. Also recognize the size of the money flow index, which has not just a very overheated read, but a significantly overheated read. Excuse me. What has happened in the past when we've had these significantly overheated reads? Well, obviously we'll wait and see what happens this time around. We had a peak over here with a nice consolidation. We had a peak over here with a nice consolidation. Any other significant peaks? Yes, a nice peak over here with a very significant alt season. In fact, that was the best alt season ever made. This doesn't count. This doesn't count. But this really did count. And guess who got the top? We did, didn't we? We got the absolute top on that one. Buying altcoins at their absolute lows. This one, not so much an epic peak, but it's still pretty decent. Over here, an epic peak. Over here, what we've got, not so much an epic peak. So, I mean, statistically, it looks around 70% likely that this is some form of peak. And the peak could bring us down to maybe 48.5% dominance, which is good enough for me, mate. That is good enough for me. So I've been messing around with some trading bots. So I'm going to keep my trading bots on. I'm probably going to think about adding more to it. Remember, trading bots aren't a get-rich-quick scheme. They are basically use your alts against alts or against Bitcoin to accumulate more alts on more Bitcoin. So I've got a couple of these that are going on at the moment. And if you wanted to set some up, they actually have a 4th of July sale going on. You can get 30% off your Bitsgap subscription. I have the pro account. It's not really required, to be honest with you. The advanced is everything you could possibly need, and to be honest with you, the basic is just fine as well. So I never normally have more than 2 bots going on at the same time, so basic works just fine. The only downside is you don't have the trading up or down. I never use trading down, I only use trading up, so it's up to you if you want to take advantage of this. Bitsgap don't really do these offers very much, so if trading bots are your thing, Bitsgap is the best one, but otherwise Pionex is pretty decent and that's free. I know that most exchanges actually have their trading bots built into the exchange now, but you can apply Bitsgap to all exchanges. I started a new $1,000 to wherever it's going to be challenge, like I did in the last bull market. Started with $1,000. Last time I ended up with, on the videos I made, we made it to 50,000 in about 4 months. That was pretty decent. This time round, I've only managed to get it to 5,400, and this has been going on for a year now. So not as impressive as before, but it's like I say, you got to think, you got to have a long-term goal really when you're thinking about bots, because it is about accumulating whatever quote currency you're trading with. So it's still, and again, 1,000 to 5,000 still pretty decent, especially in the market that we've been in for the last year throughout this period here. So that's Ethereum for you, and it is just a matter of waiting for it to break 2,000. For me, the main criteria already is golden cross retest on the daily, golden cross retest on the 4-hourly, waiting for a pump signal on the daily at some point down the line. Really, we just need to see daily closures above 1,949, and then we'll have all components for the pump signal, and it's just a matter of waiting. So I strongly believe that buying into altcoins, if you haven't already done it, or incremental buys into altcoins, not all altcoins, not obviously the worst things we've ever seen, but decent ones with decent setups. Like I say, we looked at a few yesterday on that live stream. We look at them on Tuesdays and Fridays on the Patreon every week. And we recognize who looks good, who doesn't look good. That's basically the idea of it. Yeah, I think that we're going to have some form of alt season. Now, we already did the measured moves, like I said. For the most part, we're talking around 100%, give or take, for some of these alts. Some of them will be less, some will obviously be more, depends on the market cap. But for the most part, even the 100% gain pumps that we'll be seeing will be nothing more than death cross retests on some of these charts. But that's not the case for all. So it's your choice. It's up to you, or whether or not you just want to set some trading bots up and just leave the volatility to do its thing. I am expecting absolutely amazing volatility to kick in for altcoins very shortly. We're just waiting for Ethereum to close above 2,000 and start to build a base above there, and then we should start to have a decent party. Now tomorrow tomorrow markets are open. I think it's Tuesday. I think that they close 4th of July. So might be a bit of a slow start to the week with the absence of American markets trading. However, with the way that Bitcoin has moved effectively independent of the rest of the market recently, with its major breakout based on its own chart formations, and maybe we will see some price action, regardless of American markets being, taking a day off or so. Otherwise, as I do, that gold looks good for continuation. That's not going to be closed. S&P still looks good for continuation. The dollar is kind of halfway down its descending channel on a weekly, and doesn't look particularly bullish. And so it's going to stay at a low level, which is good for basically anything pegged against the dollar, which is pretty much everything. So I'm very bullish on all markets still. Generally speaking, as a sweeping statement, but I think what we should start to see is more continuation for everything. So I am generally bullish on all markets still, even though we've been tearing it up for 6 months straight. And who told you where the low was? Moi, I told you. Right, that's enough of blowing my own trumpet. If you want to do that, you can do it on the comments. The algorithm likes that, and put a like in the video on the video as well. And like I say, I do have a Telegram. It's there, all in the description. If you want to join the Patreon, in the description. Links for everything, including Bitsgap, all in the description. And any exchange you could ever want, all in the description. So other than that, I hope you have a nice day and take it easy.